Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
No worries.
And it's wedding week, baby.
It's wedding week.
No worries.
We're here. We made it. They said it couldn't be done.
Here we are. And you know what, guys?
Hydrate.
I did think we were a good-looking group.
Joe, do you want to talk about this, Joe?
Look at this.
Look at
Can
that.
you
You can
just
see
take
these.
a look?
Yeah,
Look at us.
Zoom in, eh?
Wow.
Flames Central
Look at that
mug.
mug. If you
Official.
go
See,
to Flame
official.
Central at liberty.edu to send in a question, critique,
Yeah.
do they get these or
Yes.
is it the other?
The top
Wow.
ones.
Wow.
Top ones.
The top
Not
ones, yeah.
everyone.
Yak Talk mug,
Yeah.
Flame Central mug, and look on the
water
backside.
just tastes different.
And turn around the backside too, Emily.
Oh,
Powered.
Powered.
By Alcova Mortgage.
Who wouldn't want to wake up in the morning and take a look at this trio?
You know what that does?
Well, they drink
You know
their
what that does?
coffee. You know what
that
I mean?
would actually
Yeah.
be my worst nightmare.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, tell
Let's
us.
tell it like the way it is, right? When you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning and you put that mug, you pour a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
It brightens your day.
It does. It does.
It brightens your day.
How could it not?
How could it not?
How could it not?
Spring is here. It's
Yes.
in the air.
Yep.
The mountain looks so much prettier. With
Oh,
Everything's
it does.
green.
Everything's green.
Yeah.
Green.
I don't have allergies, so I love spring.
You have allergies,
A
man?
little bit.
Do
Never
you?
did till I got here, but
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
horrible.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah. I fight through.
He'll be fine. Let's talk a little bit about the spring game.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear, I was not in attendance to this.
We
Some
assumed.
people
That's
thought.
We
usually
assumed that.
It's my
Yeah.
wedding week, but some people
It's
were
wedding week.
mistaking
Wedding week.
me for some other people there.
Oh,
There's
yes.
Another person
Emily
there.
was not wearing orange. We'll just leave it at that. Some people that were there may know what we're talking about. Let's just leave it at that. All
Joe
right.
Yak, what are
You did it click? Yeah. Yes.
some people are asking? I just want to be clear.
Just wanna clear
I
her
was not
name.
in
Just
attendance
wanna
at the
clear her
spring
name.
game. However, I have
All right.
been eating my spinach salad.
Yeah.
So that could
Please,
be
go ahead, go on.
mistaken.
Yes.
Takeaways from the spring game. What do you have, Joe?
Well, I mean, I was doing the broadcast with Alan York on it, so I didn't get to like sort of roam around and see it closely. But I've always been the big believer. Like, you're not going to learn a lot from a spring game.
Right.
Like, there's just not like defenses aren't going to show much, offense is going to show much. I talked to a couple of coaches beforehand. They were saying, "Hey, if we were Bowling Green, I'd send somebody down here to watch us." Right. So what does that make you do? It makes you very cautious. Makes you you're not reserved. You're not going to show much, but it's more of like takeaways from what does this football team look like right now. And I would say this, and from what I've seen, and after watching just a little bit of film with Willie Korn, talking to Newland Isaac, some of Tony Washington, the receivers coach, from what I've seen, this offense is very niche-y, right? And it's going to take time for this team to figure it out. So it's like you want to pull the reins back a little bit from the aspect of, as fans, I know it's a new coaching staff. They've done so great.
A lot of
They want to coach
excitement.
together. There's so much excitement. We can't wait. But I think reality is going to be, offensively, it's going to take time for this team to hit its stride. When it hits it, it's going to hit and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think there's also hopefully some things work out in the transfer portal as they come along here, that they may acquire some more guys potentially, see what's out there. I honestly believe that it's going to be the defense. I think the defense, if they can solve or have really the big thing is stay healthy at the linebacker position because they're thin there.
Yeah.
The defensive line is strong. Talking with Skylar McGee, the defense at Kenny Charles is an animal, right? Yeah. And the defensive line, depth-wise, strength-wise, athleticism-wise, is really, really good. Good at the linebacker. Steven Sings is they talk about like that guy's going to be a stud, right? And so if they stay healthy at linebacker, they'll be good, and the secondary is going to be really good. So I think defensively, they're going to be the ones that are going to really help them win this game. And then the other part of it, and talking
Which is what we saw last year.
Really, the last 2 years.
And then talking with the other part of it is talking with Kyle Krantz. Krantz, who does special teams. I think they're going to be very unique in special teams. I think they're going to do some things in special teams that you haven't seen, being much more aggressive in how they play special teams. And I think the special teams could be that third piece of the puzzle, that between defense, special teams, that maybe allows the offense to get its sea legs over a few weeks.
Right.
So, and again, to your point, you can only learn so much. But in what I saw, I think, number one, what may help this offense when it's trying to find itself early on is the fact that they're going to be able to run the football.
Yeah.
Or they have guys that should be able to run.
Yeah.
The Cooley kid from Wake Forest, that kid's a bowling ball.
There's good mix
Like
up.
what I see him. The Joyner kid from Arkansas has the build. He's like the bigger back. The Vaughn Blue freshman looked really good. And there was talk about him like, maybe they'll redshirt him, maybe not. Like, he looks really good. The only reason you would is because there's so much depth there. And Day Hunter, he didn't play. He was on the side working out, moving well. But you know what? I had a couple reports from the inflatables that he was in the inflatables with the kids. Don't know if that was a great idea coming off a pretty severe injury, but he was in the inflatables. He was racing kids in the inflatable obstacle courses.
That's outstanding.
But
he
was
feeling
working
good.
good.
Obstacle course.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
So that's good that he's feeling the way he is. They should be able to run the football. So that hopefully can buy you some time if the rest of the offense takes a little while to get going in the passing game. I think we're all in agreement. It doesn't seem like much has changed at the quarterback position from last year. No one separated themselves. You know what I mean?
Here we go.
But it is.
So who's under center if the season starts today?
That's the challenge. I think it's JB.
Yeah.
But then we saw him. He threw a pick 6. So there's that mistake. I'll say this: Jamie Chadwell said in his post-game press conference, anyone can watch on YouTube.
Go to
when
the YouTube.
he talked about their needs in the portal, he said quarterback. He mentioned quarterback.
That's
and I don't
crazy.
think,
I didn't see that.
I don't think you say that publicly unless you're like, man, it just hasn't been as good as we hoped.
Yeah.
Not that any of those guys can't. We know they all have different abilities, and we've seen all of them do it at one time or another. It's been the consistency. But I think that's one thing where who's it going to be? Are we going to be in a spot where you're doing the old yo-yo, pulling different guys, or I don't know how Chadwell will handle it, but
I think
no one separated themselves.
Right. I think in what Willie Corn and talking to him, he's going to meet with. He said, "Hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to meet with all the quarterbacks, and we're going to have as of right now, watch the cut-ups, the whole deal. As of right now, we're clear number 1, number 2." Number 3 and number 4, we're going to place you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to play this whole musical quarterbacks thing that's happened, and then you're going to go into fall camp. But that doesn't mean when we come out of fall camp that can't change, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I think what they do want to do is bring clarity to the position that by the end of fall camp, that this is our number 1, this is the guy that we're going to go with, and I do like that.
All right, well, that's offensively. Let's shift to the defense because we have a guest today. It is Dino Waits. That's his name, and he's the cornerback.
It only took you one take.
All right, we have Dino Waits in the building. This is take 2.
This is take 2. He messed it up the first time.
I
messed his name up bad. Called him Dion.
No, I was going to.
Prime time.
Prime time.
She's
I am not going to be on prime time anytime soon.
Yeah.
She's in Mexico. No shoes. She's getting married. She's in Mexico.
Okay, everyone
No
is.
shirt. No problem.
Oh, that is a problem. Okay, that is not the word way. Dino is in the house. I'm in take 2 because I messed up his name. I'm so sorry. So we're going to just get past that. So it's a nickname.
Yes.
How did that start?
So that started in college. My full name is Dino Waits.
Okay.
But Dino is a whole lot easier to say than
Right.
that. And
Well, apparently not.
It is. Yeah.
Dinoris or
people.
Dinaris?
Dinaris.
Dinaris.
Yeah.
Dinaris.
So, and if you're a coach, you don't want to say Dinaris.
Right.
Which my mom actually used to say my whole name was James Robert Dinaris Waits.
Whoa.
That's
So
when
then
you're
you
in
knew
trouble.
it was bad news
Yeah,
if
that's
you were
when
at
you know
all.
the middle name.
Are you nickname guy with the guys you coach now?
Do they call me by my nickname?
No, do you call them? Do you come up with nicknames for them?
Yes, they got on me already because I call Amarion, I call him Moski.
Okay.
They call him Mo for short, and I just put a ski on it.
That's good. As a coach, I feel like you have that right. And whatever you call him, that has to stick.
And you want something quick,
Right.
that you can just say, get to the point.
Yeah.
Right. So you aren't coming from far away. VMI last season. How did you get connected with Chadwell and Liberty?
So I was at VMI last year, and I've known Coach Chadwell for a while now through like FCA coaching clinics. I met him at a camp at Black Mountain in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, FCA camp.
Great FCA camp. My family does it a lot, and then but I met the way that I really got connected with him is I worked with one of his good friends, Gabe Gardenia, who is the head coach at Charleston Southern right now, and I worked with Gabe for 4 or 5 years. It was through COVID, so I feel like a extra year.
Yeah.
I don't know tell how long it was, but and so I actually had a ton of interaction with Coach Chadwell and some of the guys on the staff. Like we visited him while they were at Coastal, and just over the course of years. So I worked with somebody that he's worked with for a while. So.
There's no like initiation since you're like the new guy on the staff, though, right? Or are they kinda...
Yeah, but you know what? I've kind of like made it through pretty smooth. Yeah. So they've been
sliding.
pretty.
That's your style, Coach.
Yeah,
You
but
slide
but
right
Coach
on.
Chadwell, he gets everybody.
Dino slide.
Yeah.
Dino slide, coming right in sideways.
Yeah, everybody gets a little bit of action though from somewhere. So, but mine's been pretty easy, and it's been pretty smooth. So, cause Coach G actually, I feel like he copied almost everything that Coach Chadwell does. He's tried to like.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's been good for me. Been a smooth transition.
Now you played right, Carson Newman, and you were a safety. Is that right? And then when you started coaching, did you actually coach on the offensive side of the ball too for a while?
So really, I actually played cornerback, and the transition happened pretty quick into a safety. It was not a corner. Didn't have the necessary tools probably to be a corner, really be a safety. I was like an overachiever, and then so I played safety, and then I got into coaching. I actually coached, actually like a student coach. I got hurt my last year. So I coached that year. I coached DBs, and then I GA'd and I coached DBs, and then when I got my full-time position, I coached receivers for 1 year.
Okay.
And that was enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then then I started back coaching defense.
Okay. Why was that hard? Like what made that tough?
It wasn't.
They're divas. You can say they're divas. Right? Is that what it is?
I will say this though.
Sorry,
it was.
Joe.
Sorry,
You know, Coach, we're the opposite, right? So when I took my first job at Liberty, I played receiver, and my first job at Liberty was coaching corners.
So, but this
and then
great.
back to the
it's
offense.
Great learning.
Yeah, so it's great learning.
Great learning experience.
Yeah.
I think I got better after that.
Sure.
But it's just not my DNA.
Right.
It's not who I am.
Right.
So I had to like, oh man, you're tough. I didn't do that. I mean, it was like, great job. It was not really that. So it was kind of like I was really lying to myself.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah.
But it was
gosh,
good.
I
Though.
love
Okay. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. experience.
Tell us a little bit about the Liberty corners right now. What are we working with? What do we got? What's in the hopper?
We just finished up spring.
Yep.
It was real good to get the feel for all the guys and just like total evaluation period. It's probably some familiar names that you guys already saw. Dejon Anthony was really a big, long, physical corner, which I expect to see the same thing for him coming in the fall. I think he should.
He's good.
Yeah, he should. Be really
he started to peak. I feel like at the end of last season a lot.
It's gonna be for him to just now see him take like a leadership role, do things the right way, and I think he can do that if he decides to. It's gonna make him a better player if he does. Then Amarion, we call him Mo.
Yeah.
I call him
Moski.
Yeah, Moski.
Moski. We're gonna use that.
We'll use that.
He definitely was super consistent out of the group. He actually was injured, had a thigh bruise early on, but didn't back down, so that was great. And then you'll see a couple new guys like Marquise Bell transferred in, was really, impressive this spring. And so that's great to see him. I think you guys will see him. And then Dexter Ricks was really impressive too this spring. He played. He voted got most improved just because from day one, from what I saw, he made the biggest jump. And did a good job and was real consistent. And then you got some other guys that I think is going to contribute a whole lot.
You got some depth.
Yeah, I think we have some guys that will contribute. It's going to be like a committee, It won't be just one guy out there. I think they all going to put in on it. They all going to have to. Kobe Singleton, who played last year a whole lot last year, he was hurt this spring, but did a great job of leading from the sideline. And then some guys that came in new, Elijah Hopkins, hope to see him. And then Antoine Jackson, who was here last year too. So they all have some ways to put in on it. So
it's so crazy hearing some of these names because you're like, gosh, how many years have they been here?
Yeah,
but with COVID, it is like
sure.
that, and I feel like that can only be to your benefit, with that depth and that experience.
Yeah, so it's been good for me too, coming in, learning a new system, and a lot of the guys are familiar with it, and I think that's one part that helped us be successful this spring was they were familiar with the defense and some of the stuff that we're doing. Didn't make a whole lot of changes, so it helped us be successful, and they did a good job. I thought they did a good job of trying to buy into what we brought and what we're trying to do. So
what did you see in the spring game? We've talked about it some, but from where you sit in your position group, how did you grade your guys out?
Good.
Yeah.
And that's probably saying that from a coach's perspective, you always want to get better, but really just, I always tell them, you're not just competing against our offense and our receivers. You're not just competing to be the best cornerback in this room. You're competing against every cornerback in the nation, the best receiver in the nation. And so you're really competing against yourself, and I think we still have a lot more to give and to get better overall. So it was a good day for us. I want us to be a whole lot better. So it was a good day.
When you look at the defense as a whole, now, when I sort of stepped back and looked at it, D-line looks Got some players there, look solid. Thin at the linebacker position, obviously with a couple of transfers that have gone away now that you got to replace the especially inside linebacker. But the secondary in itself seems to be the strong point of this defense with the defensive line. How do you evaluate the defense as a whole right now coming out of spring?
Yeah, I mean, last year they were good. Last year, I think we're in a good spot also defensively. Again, I think we got some places that we can be better in a lot of areas. And the great thing about, I know, like, we're thin in the linebacker position, but you got guys that's, that got a chance to stand up and make a move. Like Jolly did a great job this spring. Joe Carter, who stood out this spring. You just saw a lot of guys get a chance to step up. I would say just looking at the defense as a whole, again, I mean, I do think we got a bunch of experience in the secondary, and I think we're good up front, but you just always want to, I think those guys want to be better, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so our goal is, like, we watched this film this morning, we broke it down, some good stuff on there, but we just want to find the stuff that get better, and I look for us to continue to try to do that over the time. So,
What did you know about Liberty before coming here, and what was some of your first impressions?
I knew about Liberty. I had some friends that work here. Coach Scott Wackenheim, who was the head coach at DMI last year, he worked here.
Yeah.
Really good friends with Marshall Roberts. Actually came over and watched Coach Roberts coach when I just started.
He's coached a few DBs in his day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to come watch him, and so I knew a lot about Liberty. I knew what kind of program it was, what kind of school it was, which fits totally who I am. And what an opportunity it would be to get a chance to coach that way, and that's what excited me about being able to come here too. So.
We're doing those. We've been releasing these like mic'd up with assistant coaches, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yours is coming I think next week, but I've seen the early cut. Let me just say this: you could probably still go out. I don't know if you could give a whole game. There might be like 6 to 8 plays. I think you could get in. You were bouncing around pretty good.
So that's. I just want to give the impression that I can do that.
Right.
I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Hammy's still got it.
No,
I'm telling you, you were high stepping.
Yeah.
If it's like 10 yards within if it's a 10-yard box, I'm great. I can do whatever you want to do in that. But outside of the 10-yard box, I'm in trouble. It's bad. It's bad for everybody.
Yeah. So people can look forward to seeing that. But it was entertaining.
You got to have some energy when you coaching secondary. Like,
that's the truth.
You can't just come out there. Those guys, I mean,
they love the hype.
Yeah, they should be. They should have the energy anyway. Like the job that you do, you should. So they should.
Is the mindset you feel like different for a DB or need to be than some other positions? Because it's like, at some point you're gonna get beat, and all the eyes are on you.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the job that you have at DB is like you can be great all game in one play, and everybody think you're. But so I think naturally you're built different anyway if you play that position. And some guys struggle, like they can't because they mentally they're not tough enough to do it, or they just don't know how to go to the next play. So you have to have a little bit of something about you differently to play DB. And I think we got a pretty good group. They've shown that they can respond, after that. So, and I think it does come with being hyped, loving the game, being okay to take a lump and then respond. So I think that's what comes with the energy that you have to push to be at that position. So.
All right, enough football talk. Let's talk about love and marriage. Maddie, your wife Maddie, give us a good. It's been long enough.
I've got a great Dino Waits story.
Yeah.
I've got a great.
Whoa,
do I know about the story?
Let's just
I
give
think you probably
Joey
did.
Okay.
It's a Dino Waits family story. It's a good family story.
Great. I hope I
Okay, while he shares that story, because usually they take about 15 to 20 minutes, a good story about you and your wife, something funny, or like something funny happened at the wedding, or just like a standout thing.
Oh, you
at
know
the marriage.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were angling.
I thought you were angling.
See, that is a sign of a very good reporter. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Joe, go ahead and tell your story.
Okay, so I go to lacrosse practice with my son Reese.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I meet Dino. He's there. His son Apollo is playing lacrosse with Reese. And so they're playing lacrosse, and then you guys had something going on Saturday, so you couldn't be there. So his wife Maddie was at the game, Reese's lacrosse game with Apollo, and we're watching the game. Our wives have met, and Maddie and Dean have met, and they have Apollo, Rose, and Titus are his 3 kids, and everybody's hanging out.
Wow,
so after it's over,
better than me. That's better than me.
They're all written on his arm.
You're making the story a bit too long, right? So Apollo and the whole crew, and we say after the game's over, Dina says to Maddie, would you like to go with us and get something to eat, some lunch? And so, we'd love to do it. So we end up going to McAllister's.
Yeah, classic.
And then the kids are at McAllister, and you know what comes next? Reese comes up.
Dad,
can Apollo come over and play?
Right.
Right? And yeah, sure. Why not? We'd love to have Apollo over and play. New friends, everything. And so Apollo comes over to the house. They're not at the house. I'm talking, this is a credit to Dino and his kid.
You know this.
They're not at the house for 5 minutes, right? And they got lacrosse ball, and Reese has got a net.
Yeah.
Well, they're over there shooting on the lacrosse net, boom, boom. Well, Apollo leans over to tie his shoelace, and as he's tying his shoelace, Reese comes off, and he goes, when he whips one, and it goes, doing right off Apollo's head. And those lacrosse balls are hard. And I see it. I was
the yacht compound.
The yacht compound.
You gotta be ready.
This is what happened.
Where you
I'll tell you what. I walked over. I saw it like out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, and Reese saw Reese go running right up to him. And so I turned and ran right up to him. And Apollo, that kid was tougher than nails. He had the tears. They were starting to well up. I'm like, dude, you okay? And he's like, give me that groggy look a little bit. And he's like, give me the groggy look a little bit. And I'm like, are you okay? You okay? And he's like, just give me a minute. Give me a minute, right? And then he was like, give him about 30 seconds. I'm like, dude, you want me to call your mom? What do you want me to do here? And he's like, hold on. And then he goes, I'm okay. Let's go.
Next play.
And next play. They're on the next play. So now here, let's add. He gets his revenge now on Reese.
Oh no.
So Saturday they're at the spring game.
Oh, he was a part of this.
They're at the spring game. And so Maddie's texting Reese.
Yeah.
Right? And like, hey, you guys come to the game. But yeah, we're gonna be right over there. Paulo wants to play with Reese. And so Rose, Titus, all the kids are there. And it's just like 200. All these kids are in the end zone.
Madhouse.
And so they decide to Reese brings his football.
Yeah.
So they decide to get a little football game together.
Yeah.
They're going along, getting a football game together, and no padding on the goalpost.
Yes.
And Reese is playing DB. He's in I mean, coach, I've taught him a good down, get your good base, shoulders release. So good bend, and get your hips open.
Yeah.
He goes to open up the hips and goes, bang, right into the goalpost.
Is he all right?
Next thing you know,
I don't know. He's still laying there.
Dino walks over to me. Dino walks over to me, comes over. Reese is like this. I mean, this kid's punch drunk. He's punch drunk. She's got to take him home.
Yeah.
And so Paul's like, yeah, now you know how I feel.
And Apollo threw the pass. He said he
Paul,
let him.
it was a total setup.
Lead him right into
Yeah, you just ran him right into it.
My dad was a receivers coach.
Yeah.
But it's been great meeting. He's got a lovely family, absolutely lovely family, and have enjoyed having him around and being a part of the community.
Can't wait to meet them. It's exciting,
for sure.
to have all the new coaches and all their kids to have all of them here in the mountain and meet them come fall or sometime during the summer when everyone gets here. But any good wedding stories?
Family story? Yeah, it doesn't have to be all about weddings.
Yeah,
She's making
She's all this wedding.
She's got one-track mind right now.
I can tell you something. I was going to tell you something else. But my wife is the best part of me, guys. I would tell you. Yeah.
Oh, listen to him. This guy's no dummy.
My husband would never say that.
He's not even your husband yet.
Yeah, I know.
That's even scarier.
So, wedding story. I was gonna tell y'all about. We played family games and stuff. I was gonna tell you some family game stories. But wedding story, and I'm pretty sure she knows this. You know how how you're not supposed to see the
bride for her.
Right.
No, you did.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. And now the great thing
on
was
accident.
On accident, and I think I told her this. I'm not sure, but I was looking out the window of the church, like, okay, here we go. This is about to happen.
It's go time.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everything's not perfect at a wedding, for sure. So,
explain that to her.
Yeah,
Please
it's not.
She does not accept that.
It is not gonna.
Our coordinator just quit.
It's
almost like I'm not easy to work with.
Oh yeah, that's like nothing.
If I could tell you the amount of turnover we've had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think Maddie, I think somebody spilled something on her dress the day of.
No way.
Yeah, seriously. So, but I got to see. I was looking out the window, and all right, here we go, Lord, we're doing this, and somebody pulls up in the car, and I was like, wait, that's Maddie's car.
And you're still looking out the window.
And then they get out the car, and it's her, and she's running inside with her dress on, and I was like, wait, what are you doing? We're about to start here in a little bit. I have no idea. I forgot what she was doing.
It took her that long to finally decide.
Yeah, decide to do it. That's probably right.
Is she running?
Yeah. Towards the church.
Away from the church. Which way is she running right now?
So I actually saw her before the deal.
Cute.
And we took the whole pictures of you're not seeing each other. I was like, I already saw you.
I already know what's up.
Yeah. That's good.
The lace is so pretty on you. What? Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, just we're excited. I know I've only heard great things.
Welcome.
Welcome to Liberty, and we are super excited to have you guys.
Excited to be here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be like the bottom of the totem pole of like what you have to do here. Liberty has come on the Flame Central podcast.
What are you talking about?
This has been great. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to Flame Central podcast? Do you want him to say it?
Oh, yeah.
See, I have to do everything right.
Yeah, right there, Coach. Look at this. Yacht Talks. Just say, grab that mug right there.
Okay.
Look at that camera right there.
Right there.
Right there. Look at that camera.
Okay.
Flames Central Podcast, powered by Alcova.
Oh, that's a lot.
You got it, Coach.
Alcova
Coach,
Mortgage.
Alcova.
Okay.
Flames Central Podcast.
I didn't come up with the name either.
Powered by Alcova.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Great.
Okay.
Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
That's
Bam!
good.
Right
That's one
there,
of the
Coach.
best
Bam,
ones we've
bam,
had.
bam,
Yeah.
bam.
Yeah.
Coach, thanks
Snap
so
it
much
up.
for your time. Great to have you here on the
Yes,
mountain.
thank y'all.
All right, Dino on the mountain. Great to have him.
Yeah.
Excited to meet his family. Great story time from
Story
Joe.
time. We always
So,
love story time.
Always love story time. Yeah, I'm excited about this defense. Like we talked earlier in the show, a lot of question marks with the offense. We'll see how that goes throughout the rest of summer into fall. But yeah, it looks like this defense is pretty stacked.
Yeah, and they even showed it. I mean, they won the spring game in whatever scoring system they used. Defensive line, I thought, created some pretty good pressure.
Yeah.
And then you talk about defensive backs. You had a pick six. You had some good coverage on some shot plays downfield. So, yeah, I mean, I think defensively, Jack Curtis, there's a little bit more familiarity there, right, on that side of the ball. And we've said the last couple of years, it's been a defense that has been highly underrated because of who your head coach was.
Right.
Because he's an offensive guy.
Right.
People always thought of Liberty as an offensive team, but really it's been the defense that's been carrying the load the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, the same stat that keeps coming over and over. Last year, Liberty won 4 games when they scored 21 points.
Right.
Right, like in modern college
Yeah,
football,
you don't do that.
You score 21 points. There's a high chance you ain't winning that game.
Yeah.
They won 4 games by being able to do that. But it says a lot because the fact that that Coach Chadwell made the decision to keep Jack Curtis, not only keep Jack Curtis, bring Skylar McGee in, who he's very familiar with, obviously, and put the two of those together, but then say take a look at the Liberty defense of the past and go, you know what? This ain't broke.
Right.
Let's just leave it alone and let the two of you work together and build off of what we already have here that has already been successful. Some guys are bullheaded and they want to come in like, we're running it the way we ran it before. This is what we're going to do. I don't care if we got X amount of points scored on us. I don't care how successful. This is what we're doing. And kudos to Coach Chadwell for keeping Jack and then putting him and Skylar to get together the way that Josh Aldridge was put together with Jack last year.
Still waiting for Coach Curtis's Cajun cooking. Wow, that was.
Oh, yeah.
One last thing for me from the spring game.
I don't know how they pulled that off.
Number 19, Reese Smith, wide receiver. Right now, if I had to say who's going to lead this team in receptions next season,
You're going with
now I'd put my money on
big
him.
money
West
on him.
Virginia transfer. I think he's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. He did on Saturday. They even had him back return a punt.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a big part of this offense. And then another guy, Kylan Austin's a young guy who had a good Saturday as well. We'd heard some rumbles that he'd had a really good spring. Very quick, very fast. One of the guys, you think about this Liberty receiving core, there's not a ton of just burners on it. You got some, like C.J. Daniels, very good. Not just a burner, as we just lost all power, apparently. You think about, a Frith, it's kind of the same thing. But Kylan Austin, the guy to keep an eye on because he's quick.
You know what we don't talk about that should start getting a lot of play?
Who's that?
On the defense side of the ball? Quentin Reese.
Oh, yeah.
Is a
And he's such a good leader.
Really, he's a leader of the defense, and that guy is a talent.
He's
a next level talent.
And he's a guy, Javon Scruggs said, I basically handed this off to him.
Yeah.
And said, you be the leader now.
Yeah.
And he's really taking that
taking a
seriously.
role
You
with
can
it.
definitely
And
tell that
he
in
can do it.
practice.
Yeah.
The other takeaway from that interview is do not let your child go over to Joe Young's house.
Wear a helmet.
You're going to get
Wear a
a
helmet.
concussion.
I got another story.
Do you?
Yeah, I got one more story. This is a good
Okay,
story.
maybe the power will come back on by the end of the
I
show.
got another story. This is a good story. Okay.
Floating around in space.
Yacht Talk
Yeah.
had an unprovoked attack on him.
By who?
It was an we're going all the way to the top for this one. Coach Chadwell gave me an unprovoked attack.
During your little broadcast?
I've been known to provoke some people.
Yeah, sure.
And so therefore you attack back.
Right.
Right? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I got
He shot an unarmed man.
I got to unprovoked. He comes over. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Me and Alan York are doing the broadcast.
Yeah.
And so we got different people on, and then he's the last guest on. And so he's coaching, and Brad Queen goes over and grabs Coach, you got to go on the radio now. So he comes jogging over. He puts the headset on, and he's breathing a little hard, right? And he's like, whoo. I'm out of shape, right? And and I didn't say a word.
Right.
I didn't say a word. And then he looks over, right? He goes, I'm out of shape. And he goes, but I'm in better shape than you.
Wow.
That's what he said to Yachtok.
You know why?
You know what?
Because there's been the scuttlebutt has been your training for your mile has not been going well.
Don't worry about the training.
Don't worry about my training.
Do you know what Marathon Monday is? Where does Marathon Monday take place?
What, Boston?
Yeah.
Boston.
Nice job, buddy.
But listen. So, if you're going to unprovoked attack on Yachtok, then I'm going to throw a challenge out at you.
You just want someone else to fail at this mile run too.
No. I say being in shape is a test of strength, and it's a test of your endurance.
Sure.
So, Chadwell, if you want to go head-to-head with Yachtok, if you want a piece of Yachtok,
let's do one challenge. Can we do one challenge at a time? Yeah. Can we get past one challenge before we start issuing new ones?
I'm issuing a push-up challenge to Coach Jamie Chadwell.
A push-up challenge.
A push-up challenge.
Can we focus on your mile training?
Listen. Don't think I haven't thought this through. Don't think I haven't thought this through. I'm going to have a push-up challenge against Coach Chadwell.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll even do it for charity if you want to. We'll go to St. Jude, something like that. Push-up challenge to Coach Chadwell, and then I'm going to post my mile time. Right?
Yeah.
That's fair.
It'll be verified.
I'll verify you. I post a mile time, and then he goes out and he runs a mile.
I don't think.
And then
let's
see what happens.
I could tell.
Let's see what happens.
This
really hurt, didn't it?
It was an unprovoked attack.
I can tell you're hurt.
So push-ups and a mile, and then let's see.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, quick updates from the Diamond.
Yeah. I can't believe you guys have changed the subject so fast.
You can go and cry in your corner when we're done with the show. I have to go pick up my wedding dress.
People like you. You're what is it? You're smart. You're special. Yeah.
Thank you. You should be.
Wait, we're telling her this. She's getting married Friday.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Huge series win for baseball. They really needed to get this series win on the road at Kennesaw State, taking 2 of 3. First one in extra innings.
Had to have it. 11
Had to
innings.
have it.
And then, took 2 of 3. Before that, they won at Virginia Tech in the midweek. And so now they go to number 2 Wake Forest on Wednesday. So that'll be a tough test. But Liberty right now, 7th in the A-Sun. You got 5 A-Sun series remaining in the year. 3 of those against teams below you. They host North Florida this weekend. So there's still time. If they can get up into that top 3 to 4 in the conference heading into the postseason, you feel like you got a pretty good chance.
Right.
So hopefully some things are starting to come together for them. But that was a big one. Kennesaw was ahead of you in the standings. You go on the road, you win 2 or 3 from them. That was big.
Yeah. And then for softball, we have, they hosted, oh my gosh.
Stetson.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They took 2 of 3.
Right.
So I got them back on track. It is interesting to see Dot Richardson coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, make sure you go undefeated in conference play.
You jinxed them.
You jinxed them.
You know what? They have a huge next 4 games. They play Alabama tomorrow, Tuesday, in a neutral site game at Marshall.
Yeah.
Because Alabama, I'm not going to say they were scared, but they were scared.
They're overrated.
They wouldn't come here.
Wow.
So,
overrated.
I don't know if that's totally true, but it sounds really good. So they're meeting them at Marshall. And then Liberty travels to Central Arkansas, who's in first place in the A-Sun right now. So you go on the road, see if Liberty can take care of first place. I don't know if their softball team calls themselves the Sugar Bears. Their basketball team does.
The Sugar Bears.
The Sugar Bears.
It's actually with just an A.
We like saying it.
Sugar.
Our boy Rhett McGibbon always likes saying
Sugar Bears. Sugar
yeah, you got to do it a little bit like that. But so they'll take them on as well.
I'm going on the road, so next week you are stuck with these two.
Oh, fine.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
I know they're
finally.
loving it.
We've got a couple other things before we sign off here. Real fast.
I did not need to come in today.
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got to pump you up before your wedding.
You're going to be watching, though, right? From down.
Yes.
You're gonna tune in?
I will be streaming live
Okay,
from
good.
Maybe you guys can show a wedding picture on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Will you send pictures?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
We won't
I
doctor them
can't
at
wait.
all.
You know what I'm most excited about,
What's
Matt? Her posts. I'm so excited for your wedding posts.
You know we're gonna have wedding pictures for the next 6 months.
Yeah, next wedding pictures, the next 6 months on social media.
We're still seeing pictures from Italy. It's like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna you and I are gonna sit in the room and we're gonna think of our best comments. that we can make to these posts.
And then I'm going to build a pickleball league. Yeah.
That's
Okay, anything
yes.
from Mailbag, we got to
Quickly, I want to give Kieran Vincent a shout out.
Oh, Kieran.
Liberty
yes,
Golf, former
congrats.
Liberty golfer, won on the Asian Tour this week. A tournament
Yeah.
in Vietnam.
Nice.
Made a 12-foot birdie putt on 18 to win it.
Yep.
Bang!
Walks
I know.
away with a cool $360K.
Shut.
That was the prize money, is what
Send
I
her a
read.
mug.
That's what I read.
Send her a mug.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Send her a
So
mug.
he may be in the market for a home, Joe. I don't know.
Oh.
Just I don't know. I don't.
We now have down payment money.
Joe's like
we
ding ding
now-
ding ding ding
we
ding. So
now
congrats to
have
Kieran,
down
one of the great guys through his time here. We love
Oh
talking
my
to him.
gosh, I'm
Awesome
super
kid.
pumped for him. Very huge congrats.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
360.
That's what I read.
If you're looking to buy a home with that,
Yeah.
I
Look at
know
that.
a guy you can call. His
Yeah.
name is Joe Yock, and he can get it done
Yacht
for
Talk,
you.
baby. Hey,
That's it.
Joe Yock, J-U-C-H, on the World Wide Web.
Yes.
Right? Just go to the World Wide Web. Put it on the Google machine.
Yeah.
Boom, throw it up there. You apply right now. Take some of that golf earnings.
Yeah.
Throw it down on a down payment.
Yeah.
Bang, little interest. And next thing you know, your feet are kicked on the couch. You're sipping on a drink. You're relaxing. You're watching golf on the TV.
There you go.
This is almost
Too easy.
too easy.
Yeah.
All right. Anything? From
Last thing,
Mailbag?
mailbag. We had one question,
Mailbag.
and it was, what's the strangest place you've been recognized for being a host on this podcast? Or I would even expand that to
Strangest.
for being a minor celebrity. and,
Oh my gosh. That's
is there anything come to mind?
Oh, yeah,
Anything?
you know mine.
What's that?
You know mine. When I was walking the streets of Huntington, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Call out.
I was in Huntington, Indiana. It's in the middle of winter, walking down the streets, going to Nick's
Yeah.
Kitchen. I got you a Nick's Kitchen
did. I
T-shirt.
wear it, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, at
I
Nick's
never
Kitchen,
get anything
and,
from
and,
Nick's
and,
he
and
comes
you know
in
what?
with
I'm
gifts
gonna get
all the
you.
time,
You bring
and I
us shark
literally
tooth
get
necklaces,
nothing.
we'll change that.
that's a good point.
I will.
And as I'm passing somebody on the sidewalk, somebody yells out, "It's Yacht Talk, baby!"
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
What about
Oh my
you?
gosh. I mean, really, just on the trails.
Yeah, Italy.
Something. Or like whenever I talk, people are like, "I know that obnoxious voice." I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that a lot. Or people say, "Oh, wait, are you Joe Yock's sidekick?" And I say, yeah, actually, and that is
I would-
usually how it goes.
I would
it
knock
goes,
someone out
it
of
goes,
it.
"Oh, do you work with Joe?"
No,
and I'm
they
like,
don't.
"Yeah,
That's-
yeah."
No,
He's like,
Joe works
"Oh,
for
that
me."
yacht guy's crazy." I'm like,
yeah,
yeah.
No,
That's pretty much how it goes.
We had a listener, the guy with the mug, and you know he's running
Yeah.
the mile. I'm like, he has not run a mile
Yeah.
yet, so we will.
Don't you worry about mile time.
easing it.
This whole Chadwell thing's got me stirred up.
No,
I
yeah,
know.
that's
We'll-
this is the
we'll
motivation
keep
you need.
posted.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna post a time.
yeah,
He's got to run it first.
He's gonna be
and you-
scared.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 6 minutes. All right. Thanks so much for listening or watching. I won't see you
5:30,
next
that's
week. So if you
yeah.
want to take the next week
What's the
off,
website? Or not the website, the email.
flamecentral@liberty.edu.
Hey,
Send us your questions.
Get
Win
you-
a beautiful mug.
Get you a mug.
We'll see you next time.